Okay, so this is a drawing I did last night. I spent about an hour, 25 minutes or something like that on this drawing on Sketchbook Pro on my Monoprice tablet, which is similar to Cintiq. I thought, hey, I haven't done a video for a while. Let me do a video that shows how shows the construction of a head and profile. And I'm learning a lot recently. I haven't been online as far as making these videos, but I have been drawing constantly. And one of the things that I've been learning is that taking the time, especially at the beginning of the drawing, and realizing that this is right here is the most important part of any drawing or painting, is what the foundation, making sure that all of this is correct. I started out really similar to a lot of other videos that you might see, where you have that circle for the skull, and it intersects with an oval that represents the face and the chin, that face area, whatever. And then I draw a line in the middle of that first circle to indicate where the eyes go, and then I start from there to relate the different features of the different parts of the head to that area, to the eye where I first started. So from there, just making sure how that eye, with the distance from that eye in relationship to the other eye, and the nose and the lips and the ears and so forth. And that's why you see a lot of lines, especially at the beginning. I use a light gray as I would a light pencil, and then afterwards I come back in and I draw darker lines indicating the corrections in the drawing. The lines I feel are more final, and it'll lead me to the next phase, which is that would be putting in the lights and the darks, starting out with the areas that I think are the darkest, and building the drawing up from there. So this, like I said, is the most important part of the drawing, and I have to constantly remind myself that this is the area where I just need to take my time, because if I get this right, that ensures that the drawing would that not 100%, but ensures that the drawing stands a better chance of being successful. Excuse me. So I start running out of things to say at this point, because it's very simple. I mean, take my time, make sure that I get everything correct. Everything after that is just rendering. And usually, I know earlier on, I used to just like to render, just rush to the end of the drawing to try and get to the final product. But really, taking the time in the beginning is the most, like I said, the most important part of the drawing. And if you do that, then that would more than likely ensure successful drawing. You definitely get better results. And even if your drawing doesn't come out correct, just the experience of having tried would lead you to discoveries, to understanding what it takes to build a drawing, and so that the next drawings you do would be even more successful, or stand a greater chance of success, till eventually you get the idea and you understand how to build the head. It's just taking those first steps, taking your time at the beginning, and then pretty much your drawing would be successful. So I'm just using three tools right here. I started out with a charcoal brush, or at least what seems to resemble a charcoal in the brush selections here on Sketchbook Pro. Then the other two brushes I used were the synthetic coarse brush, and this web smudge brush. So which I use to kind of smudge the areas of light and dark, the transitions between the values, pretty much the way one would use a stomp in a traditional drawing. So really, that's pretty much it. That's all I have to say in regards to drawing and putting, putting a drawing together and working out, especially in the beginning, where you place the features and measuring all the areas of the head. So I'll just let the video play. One of the things I'll add though is one of the things I always do when I'm working on when I'm working digitally is I use several um, layers. Like I have my drawing on one layer, and as long as it's not complicated, like this is a very simple drawing. It's not a complicated drawing at all. As far as a composition where you have more figures and more elements and so forth. You have a background, foreground. Then what I usually do is I put the different figures, the backgrounds and stuff like that on different layers. On this one, I can work on one layer. When I want to make some changes, I'll open up another layer. I'll set the opacity in that layer, usually lower the opacity so that I can work on the drawing and pretty much like someone would use a glazing in a painting. I would glaze some of the areas to make them lighter and darker uh, in terms of the values. Now over here, I'm adding a background so that the white won't be too stark. It would won't be too stark against it. Some of the edges will be lost in the background. Some of the edges will pop out, and it looks it would be easier to model the drawing that way. So everything really at this point, after I lay down that foundation, is really just tweaking the drawing, making subtle changes, making it lighter, darker, moving things around, adding little subtle features. It's just really at this point just kind of tickling the thing, just making sure that um, I catch whatever subtleties or make whatever corrections I need to make. And the corrections are few because what happens is that I worked all those things out in the beginning of the drawing. So, the beginning of the drawing is really where you feel out the drawing, where you make approximations and you try to make those approximations as close as possible so that when you get to this point, there's not really a lot of changes that they need to be made. It's only very subtle tweaks or very subtle changes, and most of it is having to deal with the values of light and dark rather than the drawings, the drawing itself. In terms of making sure all the placements are correct because that was worked out in the beginning. Oh, well, pretty much that's it. We're coming to the end of the video. I hope this was helpful. Hope you enjoyed it. You can leave comments below as well as subscribe to my video channel. I promise there will be more videos coming up. Thank you.